Welcome to the Conversations with Body and Mind. www.bodyandmind.co.za, the largest health and wellness online directory. Today, myself, Antoinette Nirvana, and Tsholofelo Monare. Good morning. I hope I pronounced all of that correctly.
Thanks, Nirvana. That was perfect. Thank you.
Well, you are from Awakening Spirit and keen to hear more about that. But before we do that, I'd love to know who is Tsholofelo and how did you get onto doing the work that you're doing? What led up to that? So give us a little bit of information and background about you.
Well, thank you, Nirvana, for giving me the opportunity to share with you today. I think what really led up to all of this, as a young girl, I always say I had one foot in this world and one foot on the other side. So I was the black sheep, very shy. I couldn't relate to this world. I couldn't relate to people. I couldn't make friends very easily, and that caused immense suffering in my own life, a lot of self-doubt, insecurities, lack of self-love. It was very difficult for me to just put myself out there and integrate into the world, and I had to in some way find an outlet for myself or some kind of method to understand who I am and really just start to work through my pain and work through my woundings. That led me to meditation. I had come across a book in my father's library, and it was called Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. And when I picked up that book, it was a paradigm shift in my life. And I had never felt, I'd spent my childhood feeling so alone, but it was really the first time that I felt a connection to God, to something greater than myself. Reading that book then led me to reading other self-help books like The Seat of the Soul with Gary Zukov, How to Know God by Deepak Chopra. And a lot of these books spoke about meditation, and I started to inquire more about the practice and going online, reading books. And that's when I really began to sit with myself and begin this meditation practice. And what it did was that it started emptying my mind. It began a process where my mind was being emptied, and it created a sense of clarity in my life that I couldn't get from any other source. I couldn't get it from friendships, from relationships, from other places in the world. It helped me to see or to start to awaken to my own inner essence and my own inner power and my own inner purity. But not only that, I had begun to see that purity within other things, even the things that were hostile towards me or dark, or enabled me to see both sides instead of always seeing the one side of the polarity, which was always the negative side. And that's when my journey began. It was a journey of purification and healing oneself.
Wow, Tsholofelo, I relate so much to a lot of what you're saying, coming from very Afrikaans background myself, and also never fitted in, black sheep, never really got understood, and exactly the same as you. It really only took after my marriage dissolved for me to discover Neale Donald Walsch, who is such an eye-opener from an Afrikaans NG Kerk girl to reading Conversations with God was a complete flip, and I completely understand. And I tell you, the best thing for me was starting on this journey and really understanding all aspects, as you say, seeing the purity even in those that is sometimes being judged as dark or in negativity and things like that. I'm really, really glad that you've shared this so beautifully and so compassionately with me. What I'd like to know, what do you offer as Awakening Spirit? What type of people could really come and get value from you?
Thank you, Nirvana. I established Awakening Spirit to create a very safe and sacred place for one to really look into their pain, look into their sorrow, look into their woundings, because it's very difficult to, a lot of what we've experienced in our lives, the trauma that we've experienced can create a lot of blockages in our lives that prevent us from experiencing happiness, joy, fulfillment in one's lives. They create hurdles. It's very important to then be able to look at those shadow aspects, to look at those things that are creating blockages in our lives and looking at them from a place of non-judgment. Because when we are out there in the world and we're in relationships and we're in our workplaces, it's very difficult to take a non-judgmental view or to have someone in our lives that can really support us through those challenges without judging us. So what I do is I facilitate a process where you can in fact work through your woundings and you can work through the shadow aspects of yourselves, your pain, to bring them into awareness so that you can bring healing to yourself, you can bring empowerment to yourself. Trauma creates toxins in the energy body, in your mind, in your heart. It is by slowly working through those toxins, clearing them, whether it is through Reiki, whether it's through chakra healing, whether it's through the Munay Ki, whether it's through all of those things that I offer, just to help bring things into alignment, to allow you to center, to ground, to heal.
Okay, just quickly go through all the different services that you offer, and now those are your spiritual counseling, coaching and
Yes.
healing, traditional herbalist, which I'd like to go into a little bit just now, soul retrieval, shamanic Reiki and energy healing, Munay Ki, shamanic initiation, psychic surgery, numerology and meditation. So that's
Yes.
quite a lot that you have to offer. And then you've got your healing products, which is your natural healing teas and tinctures and herbal medicines. You also have your natural body scrubs and salts, things like that.
It was in 2012 where I had a very, very strong calling that I had resisted for quite some time to train as a sangoma, what you call a sangoma. It was a very big awakening for me, and I found a teacher. I went through an initiation process. This is where I had the opportunity to learn the medicines, to learn the indigenous medicines and indigenous ways of healing. And also to work with the ancestors, because a lot of the trauma that we carry trauma from this life, but we also carry a lot of information in our DNA. We inherit a lot from our ancestors, from our great-grandparents and their great-grandparents, and a lot of that has to be looked at because it unconsciously affects you in your life. Whatever trauma that your great-grandparents endured, it will come up, and it's very important to have a look at that as well and bring that into alignment and bring that into healing. And one of the big things, one of the most important things that I had to learn was the medicine work. The medicine work is very important because it works very strongly with the physical body. And what most people tend to forget is that the physical body is the place where the embodiment needs to happen. So we're talking about the embodiment of your higher self, the embodiment of your creativity, your power, your intelligence, anything and everything that you need to express in this life has to happen through the body. And in order for the body to become a pure channel for you to express your power, to express your intelligence, to express your creativity, the body must be pure, it must be cleansed, it must be purified. It has to be working at an optimum level. And working with nature and working with medicines allows you, it truly enables you to express your fullest potential. So your organs, your cells, your brain, your meridians become a technology, a sacred technology that allows you to experience and to express your highest potential. That's why I love the medicine work so much, because it really helps to integrate the healing that has taken place.
Yeah, just while you were talking about the things that we carry in our DNA, I don't see my mum very often, and when I do
Yes.
see her, it's quite amazing that the things that we have, which are so identical in our habits, and
Yes.
I'm so far, I always consider myself so far removed from the way that they do and think and say, and because I'm on a different path. I mean, that's what my ego
Yes.
obviously keeps telling myself. But every time, I was last Sunday, I was with my mum, and I cannot believe how much I am like you. And the little things that she does or think or feel, or it's not just in one criteria. There is so many that I
Yes.
am so identical to my mother. And a lot of people, even if they've never met their biological mother or family member, like either a child that they've given away due to circumstances for adoption, that child would have mannerisms and walking and things of a parent that they've never seen before. And this is
Yes.
because of what we bring through our DNA, through our lifetimes from parents and grandparents.
Yes, definitely. I do agree with you on that. There is a lot that we bring through from our ancestors that we really need to work through and to bring to healing and to bring into alignment. That's why I love the Munay Ki so much, and that's why I love the womb empowerment and healing so much, because with the womb empowerment, you get the opportunity to work with your womb, but not only with the information that's available to you in this lifetime, but also the information from your ancestors, from your feminine line. And a lot of what happens in our lives, a lot of the way we relate to, especially in relationships, the way we relate to men in relationships doesn't necessarily have to do with what has happened in this lifetime with us, but what our grandparents experienced, our grandmothers, whether they experienced sexual oppression or they experienced heartache. All of that information is imprinted in the womb. We have, through these transmissions, the opportunity to clear that, the opportunity to heal those imprints, that we could once again gain access to the power of our womb. A healthy womb creates a healthy woman and man, because men also have an anatomical womb as well. So with these transmissions, with these healing workshops, you're then able to really get to look at the woundings of the ancestors, so that you can bring that into healing, so that you don't have to carry that within yourself, within your own life, and you can walk freely in the earth as yourself and start working towards your true essence and your true nature.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Tsholofelo. Where are you based? If you could tell us how people can get hold of you.
I'm available on email at info@awakeningspirit.com. I also have a website if you need to get hold of me, www.awakening-spirit.com. Facebook, it's Golden Wellness. I work from Valterfreden Park, so that is where my practice is. The physical address is on my website. Valterfreden Park is in the West Rand, Roodepoort in Johannesburg.
You can get hold of Tsholofelo on the Body and Mind website, which is www.bodyandmind.co.za, and you can just search in the search bar Awakening Spirit, and all her information will pop up, and a link to her website and email address and contact numbers is also on there. You can also download the Body and Mind app onto your iPhone or Android, and all of the information of all of our practitioners, modalities, products is available now on Android in the Body and Mind app. Thank you very much, Tsholofelo, for having this wonderful conversation, and what a beautiful energy and spirit that you are carrying, and I can feel it just by our conversation today. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you so much, Nirvana, for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome. I say goodbye.
Thank you.